Right folks, wholly spontaneous video today. People with a penis and people without a penis. I am sorry that I haven't done any vlogging this week, and I haven't done any vlogging last week as well. I've been very ill last week. I had a couple of days off college. I've been really not in the best of spirits. And also the days that I haven't been ill, I haven't really been doing anything interesting. But I thought I would do a little video today. UFC 196, that was on Saturday night. The main fight was between Conor McGregor and Nate Diaz. Now, for those of you who've got no idea what I'm talking about, UFC is a massive American organisation for MMA, mixed martial arts. And Conor McGregor is one of the most well-known fighters in the UFC at the moment. He's Irish. Typically, his weight's actually 140 pounds, but he was going up. 145, I think, 140, one of the two. He's a featherweight, and he's gone up to 170 welterweight to fight against Nate Diaz, and this is because a fight with Rafael dos Anjos, that was what he was going to be doing, but dos Anjos came out with a bruised foot, or well, Conor McGregor referred to it as a bruised foot. It may have been more than that, but who knows. But even though Conor McGregor's from like 2 weight classes below Nate Diaz, everyone thought he was going to win. Everyone was backing him. You see, if you watch the press conferences, there we go, then you'd see that Conor McGregor's just the most boastful, sort of self-confident person you're ever going to see. He's been compared to Muhammad Ali a couple of times, and in those pre-fight conferences, he was just talking he was just playing the game. He was absolutely just talking shit over and over and over again. He was slagging off Nate Diaz in like as many ways as he possibly could, mentioning about how he teaches jiu-jitsu to school kids and goes on bike rides with the elderly and stuff like that. And Nate Diaz's response was just basically, "Oh, you're on steroids. Everyone else in the UFC is on steroids, motherfucker." He just said the word motherfucker over and over and over again and couldn't come back with any sort of response to what Conor McGregor was saying. And it just looked like Conor McGregor was there was absolutely no doubt he was going to win. Obviously, because of the time zones and everything, this fight it was actually in the UK sort of Sunday morning, around about 5:30, I think it was. Didn't get the chance to see it because I was asleep at that stage with my girlfriend, but woke up to the news and I was pretty shocked to see that Conor McGregor had actually lost the fight. It was really upsetting because I absolutely love Conor McGregor. I think he's brilliant, and I think he's one of the most powerful sports people in the world at the moment, you know. And the things that he's done are just absolutely incredible for the UFC. And even though Nate Diaz is so much bigger than him, you know, you sort of expected Conor McGregor to win. But I did manage to watch back the highlights for the fight. And, you know, the first round wasn't too bad for Conor, but the second round he was just being destroyed on all levels. You know, Nate Diaz was firing on all cylinders. There was absolutely no way Conor McGregor was going to come back, you know. One of Conor McGregor's sort of key techniques, his key moves, is actually his spin kick. And he was performing his spin kick on Diaz quite a lot of times, but really didn't help him out at all. It just messed with his balance. You know, Nate Diaz was hardly even feeling it, and I think with the spin kicks, it was actually Conor who was coming off worse, which is not something you expect because they've been so powerful on other people in previous fights. But yeah, I mean, Nate Diaz was just too big for him in the end, and you could say, you know, Conor was sort of literally punching above his weight, I suppose. But that's the thing. I mean, it was quite humbling actually. If you see the post fight conferences and interviews, I'm not actually going to sit there because of the sun. But the post fight interviews, Conor McGregor was just nothing. He's not like anyone's ever seen him before. He was incredibly humble. He was very quiet and timid. And he was talking about, you know, what he was going to do next. He'd go back down to 155 or 140, you know, whichever weight class. But, you know, he seemed really humbled, and he sort of just, you know, normally he's like, "Oh, everyone's scared of me. I'd be scared if I was fighting me. I'm an animal." But after the fight, he was basically just saying, "Yeah, I was not as good as I should have been. I was using my energy in the wrong places. Nate Diaz was on form. He was doing really well. He knew how to fight me," things like that. We saw a completely different side to him, and I think that's why he hasn't completely destroyed his reputation. Because, you know, if he'd got into a massive strop when the fight had finished and he'd lost, his reputation, I think, would have been absolutely destroyed. But I don't think it has been. I mean, a lot of people say that it has been because he's lost, and he was, everybody expected him to win. But I don't think it has, because, everyone loses, and what he's done, he's acknowledged that he lost. He knows where he went wrong, and I do still think with a lot of fight and a lot of practice and a lot of kind of, figuring out what's the best way to fight a welterweight fighter, then I think maybe he could actually beat somebody at 170. But at the end of the day, you can't complain. It was a really good fight, actually, and Nate Diaz was absolutely excellent. But the thing is, I still don't see him at all as a likeable character. If you look at the post-fight interviews, Nate Diaz just had absolutely no respect for Conor whatsoever. And he expected that he would do, and he should, but he was still the same sort of just like empty-headed idiot that he was prior to the game, where there's absolutely, like, I really like the whole Muhammad Ali kind of like mind games aspect of things like boxing and MMA, but Nate Diaz wasn't like that at all. He just sort of accused Conor of using steroids and things, and it was just these stupid, empty insults that didn't really mean anything. Whereas Conor, he sort of really, really riles the person before he fights them, and it's just a shame that didn't work on this specific occasion. But as I said, I do really think Conor McGregor can fight somebody at welterweight. I think with a lot more practice, he could become one of the most legendary fighters in the history of combat sports, in the history of, any of that sort of thing at all. He could be up there with Muhammad Ali, Tyson, and all these people. I saw an interview with Conor actually on Conan a while back. I think it was after the fight. I think it might have been before the fight with Mendes. And he was saying how he would love to fight Floyd Mayweather, because he's actually, the fight between Floyd Mayweather and Manny Pacquiao, that was actually the same weight class that Conor McGregor is meant to be at the moment. So I hope that happens. That'd be really, really cool, actually, to see Conor McGregor fighting Floyd Mayweather, even though they're different sports and different sort of fields of the game. But yeah, I mean, as I said, it is a shame that Conor lost. Wasn't expecting it at all. It was a bad end to a really good weekend for me. But I can live with it. Nate was, he was the deserved winner of that fight. Also, got this Villa shirt. Villa lost 4-0 over the weekend against Man City. Yaya Toure scored for City. Aguero scored 2. Raheem Sterling scored another one. He already scored against us in the FA Cup as well, the idiot. But yeah, I mean, Villa aren't staying up. But yeah, UFC. Conor McGregor's still my favourite UFC fighter. Also, can I just say, the Miesha Tate fight as well. Didn't actually get a chance to look at that, but I just like to say, really, really, really happy for her as well. Because I've heard that was a really good fight as well. Might try and look at some highlights tonight if I can. But yeah, leave down in the comments below what your thoughts are on the UFC. Do you like Conor McGregor? Are you a fan of his? Are you upset that he lost? Also the Miesha Tate fight as well. Leave some comments about that. Other comments as well, obviously welcome. Like, share, subscribe. Might do another video tomorrow. I'm planning to do a video about my record collection, actually. And also, me and Vito are planning Weird Yahoo Questions Part 2. So that should be coming to you in the next couple of weeks. And over the summer, we're definitely hoping to get Rizzley TV, which is going to be our main channel, up and running. So I hope you guys have had a great time over the past couple of weeks when I haven't really been present on this channel. Yeah, it's getting warmer, I hope. It's meant to be snowy, apparently, at some point. It snowed for about 2 minutes whilst I was at work. But yeah, getting warmer soon, getting sunnier. Probably can't really see the sun, but yeah. Peace, guys. Peace.